to be the most worried about are usually Cecilion as well as Loyi, right? Because these are the ones that can outrange you or play in a slightly separate style. Vex and Aurora are both very honest mages that Parsa can handle somewhat well. AI Esports now can be looking for their roamer as well as their mid lane. I think you would probably want to go for your mid lane first, since you already know who the opponent is going to be.
Yeah, I think keep the roamer for last, just to see, just to get the full scope of BTR's draft first. But in this case, yeah, so they go for the Aurora. Just feel like one of the better options overall. What?
Aurora! Ooh, I do like the Jawhead. That does have very strong invade potential.
Yep. The Moskov too. If you want to talk about a backline dive, an aggressive comp that can keep going, I think we're looking at one right now. Moskov, Jawhead, Hilda, Suyo.
But a dive composition can also be somewhat vulnerable to Aurora and Phoveus, right? Because these are two heroes that actually want you to run at them somewhat. So BIGETRON will need to play around that, but with Hilda and Jawhead, the Hayabusa actually has to really watch out. This is 100% a level 1 jungle invade composition. You need something that can handle that, and I think Tigreal is a very good solution. I hope it's enough, because like level 1 on Jawhead and Hilda is so oppressive.
Oh yeah, and you know, and AI only has kind of like one main engaged tool, which is the Tigreal. Right, and we've seen that I think with EDOC yesterday for RQ Hoshi, where you're relying a lot on that Tigreal. Honestly, BIGETRON Alpha not the easiest team to catch to with the heroes that they have. So let's hop into game 1 in just a little bit and see how this is gonna play out. I mean, BTR again the favorites to win, but I know AI Esports. I'm looking to see if they can at least draw some blood from their robots.
And well, I did wonder how BIGETRON would be able to hide their new faces. Turns out we just don't really get to see what's going on there. So the secret is still there, but if you're talking about robots, I think AI kind of falls under that margin as well. So it is a battle of the robots right now on the land of Dawn, with BIGETRON Alpha on the blue side versus AI Saturday.
Once it hits level 3, we've seen a lot of off-tempo play from current assassins, right? Especially Joy and Suyo. What to Suyo, who just unlocks his whole kit by then. Let's see if there's any opportunities for that. Mid lane seems to be stagnant. Both mid laners clearing their way pretty fast. A bit of a scout on the bot side by Luke, and it's gonna try and save that camp for theozy, who will rotate over after Little Wanderer. It's gonna set him up to hit level 4 at a very fast pace.
Suyo with Hilda and Jawhead is going to be very effective at just picking people off alongside the Farsa as well, while AI Esports probably leans a little bit closer into teamfight style, since they're going to be playing around Tigreal and Aurora. For that reason, AI had hold on.
They're gonna get the toss back onto Black. That's first blood going over to Pamelaaa. Moreno eats the shadow kill, ends up going down, but the pin from emann and PS will be sliced to ribbons by theozy, 2 for BIGETRON Alpha.
Still very worth it for BIGETRON Alpha. They're able to pick off the enemy jungler on top of taking Black out of the equation so that they can get the turtle more easily. And all they had to do was trade Moreno for it. And he should still be able to make it back in lane in time to actually hit level 4. So no real harm done. BIGETRON definitely coming out on top in that one. And I was about to say that AI Esports has some slightly more priority over objectives, but if Pamelaaa just goes in and throws Black back into his team, then they can't really position themselves anyway.
Not to mention that when Moreno hits 4, it's going to be even harder, right? Like in this early stage, Black is just going to get bursted down instantly. The increased damage from the passive of the Jawhead as well doesn't make it any easier. Luke zones out madzy, so this is going to be a free turtle for BTR.
Very easy turtle. I think AI already realizes at this point that BIGETRON is going to have a stronger early game presence straight up, since Black has been denied from level 4 all the way until now. It's actually quite a late time to have Implosion ready. You ideally wanted to have that for the first turtle fight because that is where you're going to be able to get the most use out of it. But BIGETRON specifically targeted him to make sure that that wouldn't happen. And that's already giving them that 1k gold lead 3 minutes in.
Just gonna camp on this mid side as well, giving emann almost a double wave, right? He shows up mid, takes the wave, goes back up top. Spear Destruction is going to miss, so doesn't get the shortcut back into lane, but no big deal. They're able to also lock madzy out, lock madzy in the lane, right? This Phobius ain't going anywhere.
I like that BIGETRON is having a good amount of discipline right now. They have a very aggressive comp that could be looking for things everywhere, but they also recognize that if AI is moving together, it's very risky for players like pamelaaa to be caught out on their own. And AI is actually sticking together quite tightly. I think pamelaaa should have scouted out this rotation. Yeah, emann gonna instantly walk back in lane just to make sure he's not ganked. And there's good communication happening.
A 4-man rotation nonetheless. To get PS in a more comfortable spot. It's currently 2 levels behind theozy. The turtle is going to be 30 seconds off 2 in terms of respawning. So more farm for the Suyo. And unfortunately, there's nothing that this Phobius can do in the situation, right? Like their purple buff is spawning again. And then Luke just shows up. And our PS has to be double as careful.
Yeah, the synergy from BIGETRON is on full display right now. You can see that they're rotating very, very well, keeping their heroes around the map where it's necessary while also maintaining timing, certain buffs so that they know where the enemy jungler is going to be. But now that AI Esports is actually grouped up together and they do have access to their teamfight ultimates, might be more difficult for BIGETRON.
Luke is just going to start walking up forward. Nothing they can do to him. Spear of Destruction does miss. Plenty of damage. The airstrike connects as well. Madzy dropping very low. pamelaaa will back off. But with Luke being around, AI Esports are constantly under threat. But unfortunately for Luke, it's going to get pinned. And that would be another kill going over to the side of alitaaa. AI Esports should get turtle.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a mistake by Luke to try and re-engage there. Like, the rest of BIGETRON doesn't really seem interested in contesting it anymore after the Hilda went down. But even before then, they weren't really in position to try and back him up when he tried to go for madzy. And he should know that most of AI Esports is still hanging around. So that was a death that didn't need to happen. That's going to help AI even things up a little bit and give alitaaa the gold injection that he needed to get that Sky Piercer up and running.
And alitaaa now is going to have a more comfortable time. We see the Thunderbelt up for both XP laners. myanmar getting completely caught out, frozen in place. Had to flicker away. Flicker Implosion followed up by Black. They want him dead and they will get it.
I don't really know if it's worth committing the flicker there just to pick off the enemy roamer, but it does give AI some time to position themselves more aggressively since they no longer have to worry about the jaw hit for a short while. So we can definitely argue that it is worth it since alitaaa got the kill as well. AI Esports now actually do have the slight goal lead. It's not very much though, so it's still pretty even, which lends itself better for whichever team does scale into the late game. And in this case, neither team very notably scales too well into the late game actually. I would still say that BIGETRON has higher damage potential overall, but alitaaa will just continue scaling forever because of how Grange is stacked.
Oh yeah. I mean, even in the ideal scenario, for BIGETRON Alpha, AI Esports, as long as this Ranger is around, it will continuously be a problem unless we see Moreno and emann somehow catch him off guard. I mean, you can't do it with a Spear of Destruction, but every time it misses, that's going to be more space for alitaaa to maneuver around. 2-0 so far, farming incredibly well. Frigid Glacier misses, and pamelaaa gets out.
I think BIGETRON now actually needs to start committing to more of a split push style. They actually need to play the map a bit more because their composition is way better at picking people off, and AI is specifically rotating as a 3-4 man group to make sure they're not caught out by pamelaaa. So if BIGETRON wants to set up those situations, they gotta figure out a way to incentivize AI Esports to move around the map on a more independent way.
It's going to be conceal use on both sides. Dance around the turtle pit again. Luke caught out first. I mean, one of the closer games we have today thus far. This turf fight is going to be quite of a slug. AI Esports able to force BIGETRON Alpha away. They get the turtle, but emann gets the top tier 1.
Yeah, this is roughly the way I expected the game to go. You know, once we get into the late game, AI Esports is way better at holding position around objectives, but BIGETRON is able to play split up a little bit more. So emann is actually being given a lot of time alone to farm in the top lane, as Spear of Destruction comes in.
Tries to go for black. That's going to be a flicker toss back. Black Sacred Hammers away. Good attempt for BIGETRON Alpha, but they just don't have the damage to do that.
A good attempt. Now Luke actually the one in trouble. Gets caught by omagyeni, and that's a killing spree for alitaaa.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He even had sprint, even pressed the sprint and still end up going down. omagyeni freezes him. The correct angle. Well, AI Esports gets full control of the bottom side. It should be able to get this bot tier 1 without any contest.
Yeah, Luke has not been having a very good time so far here. Being caught out by omagyeni quite often when trying to rotate around aggressively on AI Esports half of the jungle. See from the itemization that Luke did prioritize Dreadnought, so that means no Athena, and that's why omagyeni does so much damage to him.
Even just the Rhapsody from alitaaa is causing a bit of a problem for Luke at this point of time. Though, would say this, again, closest game we had so far. 9 minutes in, 6 kills in total, but less than 1k gold advantage for AI Esports. They're going to break the bottom tier 2, and that's going to bring it up to 1k. Conceal was used. BIGETRON Alpha looking for a point of entry. Frigid Glacier basically splits the battle line. Luke once more isolated. Taken down. Big implosion by Black. And that's the setup for AI Esports. A triple kill for alitaaa, and it's gunning for more. Maniac right there. A quad takedown for the Granger.
BIGETRON tried to surround AI. They thought they had caught them inside the funnel, but they did not account for that one. Originally, pamelaaa wanted to try and throw madzy, but the Infernal Pursuit was used at the precise time that the ejector animation came out. So instead, it was the Phobius that was engaging, and then when the rest of BIGETRON Alpha was trying to group together to follow up, Black entered with a delayed implosion and caught all 4. emann was the only one to escape because he had the Purify, but otherwise, that is a massive gold swing, and most of it going over to alitaaa on this Granger, who is definitely online at this point.
Oh yeah, we have seen the power of the Granger when given such an advantage. I think alitaaa is like, what, 7-0 right now, for Lord barreling down mid. And well, that's one way to break the ice. Stalemate no longer the case. AI Esports now looks to deal even more damage. See the conceal use. Black looking for an opportunity. Feather airstrike as a means to defend the base. PS somehow gets out the flicker, but the implosion from Black pulls back the jaw hit. They still lose PS, but also pamelaaa goes down. Another double kill for alitaaa.
A bit of a mistake by PS, underestimating how much CC BIGETRON had to keep him under the tower. Got picked off by the Spear of Destruction, but they still end up trading up by picking off Luke and pamelaaa. And without their 2 frontliners, BIGETRON Alpha have to commit abilities to make sure AI Esports doesn't get more inhibitors. The time is ticking down for BIGETRON. They are not going to be able to hold this game much longer if they're not able to stop this Granger.
Yeah, it's ticking down pretty fast. Of course, AI Esports still holds a sizable gold advantage, almost a 6k gold lead off of that, and just 1 inhibitor off of the first Lord too. See that Winds of Nature getting bought already by alitaaa, Dom Ice by madzy. So far, Zip 007 on the KDA. Deathless Phobius game. At this point, even omagyeni hasn't been touched. So realistically, all the core members of AI Esports have been having a flawless game.
It's pretty funny that the players' deaths on AI Esports is logically one of the hardest heroes to catch as well. PS on that Hayabusa, because he has been the one entering a lot of the time. That's just how it ends up being. Doesn't really mind doing so at this point, since alitaaa is the main carry, and omagyeni actually doing a lot of damage to BIGETRON as well. The scoreline on AI Esports is looking honestly a little AI-ish and not the bad type, as the conceal play comes out once again.
Black fishing for opportunity. You can see how fast BIGETRON just scatter into the wind. You don't want to get caught by another big implosion. That
Oh, emann!
and the Alita, they want to chase him down, but he heals back
Oh!
with the Festival of Blood and the War Axe. It's a valiant effort from emann, but ends in vain.
That was so close and actually so demoralizing for emann. He found the spear. He found Alita by himself. He didn't actually have Wind of Nature either. He just bought it. He was one hit away. But then he healed up. His team was there and emann was the one to get punished instead. I think that's just the final nail in the coffin at this point. That was the last chance that BIGETRON had to get a big swing, a shutdown on their gold laner. And now they have to defend the Lord with only one.
It's the Hail Mary attempt. I don't know how they're gonna do this. I mean, oh my, Jenny just got the Winter Crown. We'll see the second Lord spawn in 10 seconds as well. But if you are AI, you probably don't even need to wait until then. Then conceal black, there's an angle, but they don't need to catch much just onto emann. emann gets away with the Purify, Fleeting Glacier gets used. In esports, they didn't get any kill, but they sure as heck got the inhibitor.
But they committed a lot of resources, 2 battle spells and a feathered airstrike before the Lord even connected with the base, and that was the last inhib. AI Esports looking to try and push to end this.
Just plenty of damage from afar. The Jawhead Pamelaaa looking for a target, tosses Oh My Jenny, who still has the passive. They take care of the Lord for now, but Alita is just untouched. Double kill for him already. Alita is just cleaning up house. emann next on the hit list, as now the crystal is exposed. Frigid Glacier gets used. Triple kill. Maniac for Alita. Is this the second Savage of the challenge season? They cannot get it. The crystal blows up. But still, AI Esports will take game 1.
And this is why we were singing their praises. This is why we were calling